Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. We're actually going to talk about an email that I received from somebody who was a little panicked. Not so panicked, but they definitely wanted personal information of how to prepare for what they had been hearing across the board in regards to a mass cyber attack planned, going to happen within the next year as part of this big scheme, big plan. And it will be part of this whole money problem, right? This whole dollars no good, switching to, a digital banking system, right? So let's just talk about it. I want to discuss their concerns, and the basic concern was like, what do I do to get ready? And at first I was kind of like, I mean, it seems common sense, right? But for somebody like me, it seems like common sense, and it's stuff that we already prepared for. So my first thing was, well, you need to prepare that you're not going to have access to everything that's digital, right? You're not going to have access to possibly, think about access to no ATMs, no money. Okay. Where do you go with no money? Accessing no internet, no ability to research and look and find things, right? You possibly prepare for no access to bills and online billing and being able to pay stuff, access to not being able to physical things, like maybe it's the water system, the electric system, grid down, no power, right? When you say mass cyber attack, to me, the word mass means like multiple, across the board. And to me, that means major, significant enough that the world pays attention to the fact that we have taken a hit in cyber attack. And cyber attack is to attack somebody in a digital way, right? And there's so much stuff that we deal with, that we depend on, that we handle in a digital way. That is why it would hurt so bad. When I say prepare for grid down, it's because infrastructure, for example, if I want to do a cyber attack on an enemy, I'm attacking their quality of life, those things that help them stay clean and fed and clothed and drinking water. So the water and the sewer and the electricity, their money, their banking systems, their ability to look stuff up, find stuff, their ability to communicate. So phone lines, cell towers, right? That's what you're doing, right? And I think that cyber attacks in the past, we've always contributed to, okay, it's hackers, they're hacking in, they want something, they want money, right? They want millions of dollars, let's say, from a company, and hey, we'll give you back control of your company, right? Your computer systems or whatever, and stop doing what we're doing if you give us money, right? And I think that's what a lot of people think about when they think about cyber attack. But cyber attack can be something very down to a single person to something major, a whole entire group of people, a whole entire company, a computer system in a company that runs across, coast to coast, throughout the entire United States, connects them to the international side, different countries, right? And it can be an attack attacking that company that's spread out across several different locations, right? So there's a lot, okay, to think about when you talk about cyber attacking and protecting yourself. Now, if you're talking about just every day protecting yourself, well, you need to do the things for your computer, your own VPN, having your different software on there to catch virus software and detect stuff, and changing passwords. And there's just a bunch of like IT type stuff you could do to help put that firewall up around you and make things a little bit safer for you when you're maneuvering in that world. But the reality is that if a true mass, major, big scale cyber attack happens, it's going to disrupt things. And if it's done in the right areas, it could possibly disrupt you in multiple domino effects ways. Okay. And so, if you ask me off the top, how you prepare, yeah, you do those simple things for that personal protection, right? On your internet experience, let's say, and your passwords for different, whether it's your money accounts, bank accounts, billing accounts, whatever it is, email accounts, all this stuff. But it's much, much more than that for me. For me, I prepare for mass cyber attack by ensuring that we're completely ready for grid down, that we are ready to live life with no power, and not just in a small period of time, but a long period of time, possibly decades, right? Because that's what it's about, is how you would actually transition and turn into adjusting to living life that way. So mass interruption is no internet, no losing some part of the infrastructure, no power, no water, no sewer septic system, no gas line. Those systems that help, let's say, for example, water, that's ran by people, but it's ran by computer systems. And so it's really easy when you talk about cyber attacking and somebody going in and disrupting that. It's very easy to do in the sense of the impact, if they're successful, the impact to people, right? And some of that is power. All those attacks that we had recently of people attacking the power grid, that has the potential to go very, very left, right? In theory, people are like, okay, no big deal. We saw that it happened. We've actually, in some instances, caught people. It's very, very odd that was happening. So it makes you think, and it's happening in several states. So it's obviously multiple people that have a plan, and you want to think about what is the plan, because it really, really could affect a lot of stuff. Just taking the power out, eventually just taking the power out for a length of time, affects other infrastructures. It does affect your water system, could affect your sewer system, could affect the gas lines and the gas. All of this stuff is intertwined with the thought of electricity. And then, internet and your cell phone towers and all this stuff. I mean, imagine if somebody was successful in cyber attacking just like phone lines and cell towers and things of that nature. And there's mass people with all of a sudden no communication. I mean, the average family does not have a landline in their home anymore. Businesses have landlines, but residential homes don't have landlines anymore. Some folks still do that, right, as an extra piece of communication. Whether a phone system goes down, internet goes down, whatever, they still have a way to communicate, call for help, whatever. But the average family does not have that in their residential home. Okay, and that's a problem. With that, the days of payphones, most payphones have been ripped out of the area. I mean, it's very rare. If you just take a minute to look around your town and see how many, payphones that you see now. I mean, but back in the day, they used to be everywhere, all on a random block, right? On a random corner, or the grocery store, corner store, 7-Eleven, wherever. They were everywhere, right? To ensure that people had the ability to call, but that's not really a thing. So just imagine taking down cell towers. Now, I'm not a genius. I'm not super smart. I'm not super savvy and know all the ins and outs of the evil plans, right? But I do know that this is absolutely something that could happen. I think that it's not something to panic about. You just move forward and be like, how would I live? Grid down is number one. If you prepare for grid down, baby, you're preparing for a lot of things, and prepare for no internet and no access to your money. No access to your money is huge. You should already, which I speak about this on this channel a lot, is you should already be moving your money around to different ways, whether that's cash at home, maybe buying some other assets, monetary assets, as far as like gold, silver, different things. You should be buying assets and buying things and not just holding on to all this cash, right? And so think of it like that when you think about how do you protect your money for a situation like this, a major, cyber attack where your money is attacked, and taken, right? Or you don't have access to it. Preparing for the internet to go down in the sense of you don't have access to your emails. Is there very, very important emails that even grid down you would need to have access to? You should be printing those out, right? I've made it kind of a business rule of mine that everything is digital, But if I think it's important, it's a receipt, it's proof of something, I'm printing that out and I'm keeping it in a paper form so that I always have paper copies to go back on. So affiliate contracts, emails where people authorize me to do something or say something, just all these things, you print those out and you keep those. Receipts, everything's digital. You take the time, print it out, keep it. If it's something that you feel like you would need in the future, because there's a very high possibility that anything can happen, a cyber attack, anything can happen where all of a sudden that stuff is wiped and you do not have that stuff anymore. You know, folks with their cell phones and having their whole contact list there. Nobody knows phone numbers, to include myself. I don't know my mom's phone number by heart, my grandma's phone number, my husband's phone number. I don't know these numbers by heart. And so it's more than that too. It's phone numbers, and you're like, well, why would you even need phone numbers if the phone lines are down? But maybe you have an opportunity, landlines are working, and you have an opportunity to call somebody and see if they're okay. Okay. You know, maybe you have the addresses are the most important part. Maybe we get back to the point where it's a snail mail communication, and that's how you're communicating to family that's in far states and different states. That is still running, but there is no internet. There is no way to just send somebody an email anymore because that stuff is attacked and you're not able to do. I mean, imagine if an email company, even one, just pick one, Gmail, a big one, right? Yahoo, one of the big ones, was attacked, right? And all those emails are wiped. And not only are they wiped, you can't get any access to them. You can't get anything that you had saved with them. You can't get any of the old emails, meaning people's emails, people's contact information that you needed. So it's important to take time to print stuff out and to get an old school address book. And anybody that you love or ever think that you're going to need to contact one day, just start writing that stuff down. When you add a contact to your phone, just make it a habit to add that contact to the hardcore, you know, the written down, you know, phone log, right? Phone book thing that you have, right? It's just very important. Again, people download books and audiobooks and manuals and like really important documents, and printing that stuff and having it printed out, because we are turning to an AI type world, high technology type world. Everything under the sun is digital. You just don't do paper. You just don't do it. It's not the way to go. But you have to protect yourself. Remember, you're here to provide for yourself, protect for yourself, and learn how to do that. And you do that by thinking about the things that could happen and preparing. This is just a different area to prepare in, right? Printing out those things, making sure that you have access. If you have favorite recipes and things like that, you don't have them in a hard book or a like if there's let's just say there's a recipe, there's a chef that you love to follow on social media, and you're constantly going there to get a dinner idea or something, right? They have a book. Go to their website, get their book, get it on your shelf, okay? Other people that you like, get their books, put it on your shelf. People that you go to on different social medias to learn how to do something, how to sew, how to make this, how to build, how to get these plans for this, how to get these plans. Go and find books, literature on this stuff. Buy those things and get them on the shelf, right? Do not think that we are always going to have this technology because you can see all day we're moving forward. AI is coming. Oh no, AI is coming. Robots are coming, all this stuff. But again, the way you keep detached as much as possible from that world is by having your own world set up and prepared and ready to go with your own literature, your own books, your own stuff that you can go back to research, right? So that in case you don't have the access to the internet, this whole, digital money thing has this whole scary vibe of basically if you don't buy into this, you're not going to be able to physically do anything for you and your family. You're not going to be able to buy certain things. You're not going to be able to get certain things unless you buy into this system. And the only way that you stay away from that system for as long as possible is setting up your family, setting up your life, and getting things. And things like whatever is in store for us to get the ball rolling for that system. In this case, let's say a mass cyber attack, you need to prepare for that stuff and think about how that would affect you and what you have to prepare for, and then get those things ready in your home, right? So that you have options and you're not freaking out when stuff like this happens. You're going to freak out anyway. But if you've figured out all that stuff. You have everything written out. You have, even bills, right? Simple bills. You're still going to have to pay a certain bill maybe, and you don't even know the phone number to call them. You don't know the account number. You don't know anything because you don't have, your saving trees. You haven't gotten a bill in the mail for forever. It's all online. And that's what I mean by not understanding and knowing, the money you owe and your accounts and having access to them and having multiple ways to get the information that you need. It's just smart business in general as far as covering your ass in regards to if something happens and you're ready. It's just a different level of preparedness. Okay. So take a look at things, take a look at, how you have things set up right now. Print off the things you need to print off. Buy in paper form the things you still need to buy. Again, if somebody attacks the internet and you can no longer go to a website to order whatever it is, right? And you now could only purchase stuff at whatever's in your town, right? But let me tell you, a lot of those businesses in town are tied up in the internet and online, right? So something as simple as the power goes down, something as simple as pumping gas. Certain gas stations, you're not going to be able to do that. Or certain stores, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to be cash only, right? Or if depending on how this goes, they're going to say, we're not even taking cash. It's crazy how left that this can go, and the little spider webs, that are going to shoot off from this that people are not thinking about at all. And that's where the chaos comes, because you have such a big majority of the population that is not understanding what's going on, does not know how to prepare for this stuff. And when it hits, they just panic. They just scramble, and they're just going to be all over the place, not understanding what's going on and what to do and what's the next move. And bad decisions are going to be made, and people are going to die, and it's not going to be good. So with all that said, that was a little bit of gloom and doom. I just wanted to answer the email and give this girl something. This is not something to panic about. This is not something to lose sleep about. I absolutely do not. I would just say that you move forward with the things that you're already doing. If you're already working on water, food, meds, great. You're well on your way to preparing for this. You are. If you're working on grid down, you're well on your way for preparing for this. You do need to concentrate, if you have never done it, on the things that you have on your computer and that you have digitally saved, that you download those things, meaning download them and print them out. All the pictures of your family that are important to you, you need to print out all those pictures. You need to print out and write down all the addresses, all the contact information, all the emails, phone numbers of all your friends and family. You need to print out any receipts, tax information, home information, proof that you own your car, proof that you own your house, all of those things, your rental agreements, things like that maybe you keep digital. You need to print those things out and just have a little file cabinet that is like for real SHTF. This is your proof of who you are, basically. Do you have all the other stuff? Birth certificates, social security cards, different things like that? Absolutely. But what are the other things? What are all your passwords? A lot of people be like, don't keep your passwords out where people can see them or whatever and get to them. I mean, the chance of somebody getting passwords that you've written down on a piece of paper somewhere in your house, if you've even remotely hidden it, it's just crazy to me. But write that stuff down. Okay, that stuff should be written down anyway in case something happens to you and your family member, your significant other needs to get into accounts, needs to get into things. Okay, but get that stuff written down, get the stuff printed, receipts, anything that you think you're going to need to prove your identity or prove that you've paid something, own something, and your personal stuff. Those pictures, print them out. I get it. It's digital. You can put it on a disc. I have this. If it goes left and you can no longer get that access to that stuff, whether it's a personal attack or part of some bigger attack, it's sad, because those are memories. And yeah, you have the memories in your head, but we don't always have the memories in our head. And so pictures matter. Pictures are important. Pictures are your lineage. It's proof of your lineage. It's proof of your family. It's proof of memories. And so it's important. And they get passed down, and they are important to other family members long after you've passed away. So, very important to get that, and very important to get literature, manuals, Get that stuff bought before you can't get it anymore, or it becomes illegal, or it gets shut down where there's no internet, so it's not easily available to buy this stuff the way it is now. Get your books, okay? So I hope this was not too heavy for you guys for Saturday. I'm about to make the family some breakfast, and then it's really windy and cloudy. I don't know what we're gonna get into, but I'm excited. So I will see you guys next week on the next video. Take care. Bye.